You have achieved different levels of success streaming. You've been able to tour internationally. So first question is a big one. How do you define success as a person and as an artist if they're two different things?
I guess I would say those are two different things. As a person, success would be, just kind of discovering inner peace. I mean, the entire evolution of the Soft Moon from the beginning until now has been just learning about who I am, discovering about my traumas and things like that, and why I kind of, for lack of better words, like feel fucked up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
This entire time, I've just been, at first I didn't really know what I was saying with the first record, and then I started to realize what I was actually doing or bringing to the world when I started getting, like, my first fans were starting to write me and relate to what I was expressing artistically. And then over time, I just started, with that information and learning about myself. If you take notice, like, I tend to sing a little bit more and more with each record.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what I was saying, and I think I've reached a point now where I've kind of discovered a lot of who I am, and I feel like I've reached the end of a chapter, and instead of wondering who I am, now I know who I am. So that's a massive accomplishment for me. That's success for me on a personal level. And then, of course, artistically, just naturally just getting better at what I do. And, of course, things like traveling the world, opportunities to collaborate with other artists, also making a living, that's for sure on the artistic side. But ultimately, just getting really good at what I do. That's what I love, like honing my craft, and I would consider that success on the artistic side.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's another sort of definition I want you to sort of think about for me before we talk about the music, and that's legacy. Do you pay much attention to the legacy that you create with the Soft Moon and yourself as an artist, or does it not really bother you day to day?
Not at all. I would say the only thing that kind of bothers me on the day-to-day basis is the fact that I'm so intimate and I'm so transparent and expressing my deepest feelings, and so I feel like it kind of leaves me a little bit more kind of vulnerable in the world. Yeah. And I contemplate whether, damn, did I fuck up? Like, did I say too much, about, personal problems? I would say that's the only thing that I kind of reflect on. But going back to our first question, like reaching that success personally, in a way, it has helped me, whether it's been hard or not, and whether I've gone too deep.
Yeah, it's an interesting point you make. Like, if I was to get you to think about that question now, then, did I say too much? Do you feel like you do? Because again, as a listener, again, that rawness comes across, and I guess that's kind of part of the appeal of the Soft Moon, is that raw energy. Yeah. Like, if you was to ask yourself right now, did I fuck up? Do I share too much? What would your answer be?
It depends on the day, actually. It depends on how I'm feeling that day.
Yeah.
Some days I'm like completely confident about what I just created and I'm putting out to the world. And if I wake up maybe a little under the weather or just feeling a little weird, I do contemplate. But I will say ultimately, I'm happy with what I do. And like you said, it's kind of like what I'm known for. That's part of the connection that of what I do. I'm one of the few that do that, actually, that really make you face yourself and what emotions are. And so that's my job in this world.
Yeah, to get people to confront the not to get too over the top, but like the darkest parts of themselves, so to speak, as you're doing the same.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly. I sometimes imagine if I were to make a music that was a lot lighter or happier, I would probably be a lot bigger.
I don't know, man. I think you're doing very well. But that is, I am one listener. But I wanted to pick up on something that you said. Obviously about being, kind of being at peace with yourself, being, you kind of know who you are now. And if you were to look at the person that made Deeper, if you were to look at the person that released that record, and obviously all the streams that came from that, the notoriety that came from that record, what would you say to that person? Because it sounds like you're a very different human being now than you were when you released that record. What would you say to the Luis that made that record?
I would tell that person that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because Deeper was when I started to realize how messed up I was. I started to realize, like, wow, looking back, like, that, for instance, the song "Try" that's on that record, that's kind of a suicide song, and in fact, I was contemplating suicide in that moment. And when I originally wrote that track, it was a lot slower. And then I don't know, I got some sort of second wind in terms of life, and then I made the song a little bit more up tempo, and then I wrote it. But looking back at the lyrics, it's definitely like a suicide song. So I would tell myself, yeah, it's going to be good, but there's going to be a couple more bumps in the road, but I'll get through it. Yeah.
4 or 5 more questions now then, man. I do want to sort of touch on some of the new stuff, and I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on the visual aspect of what you do and how much emphasis you put on the visuals. Obviously, through your career, the videos have been very, very cool, particularly looking at Monster and Become the Lies, obviously newer stuff. How much weight do you put on the visual side and the imagery of what you do? Is that something that you meticulously focus on, or is it more about, again, the impact on the listener that we were just discussing?
Sometimes I do. For the most part, I do. But every once in a while, I'll work with a director that I just completely relate to, and I just let him or her go for it. For instance, with Monster, Brian Ferguson, my friend out of Scotland, I knew that he would come up with something fantastic. I just knew it. I'd known his work for a while. And that was something that I kind of completely had no control over. I just let him do it. I had confidence in him. So that was like one instance where I do that. For the most part, I do have a lot of input. Like for Become the Lies, that was completely my idea. I felt like because I'm expressing myself more and more with each record, and on this record, Exister, I'm expressing a lot of other sides of myself. So I figured, you know what, why not just add to that visually, and let me show people that, let me just be free and be open. I just want people to know that, at least for Become the Lies, that I've reached a level of confidence and expression, and I want you guys to know me as much as possible. So that was my input on that one. And then on him, that one pretty much left up to the director as well, because it was a collaboration with Fishnark, and Fishnark was really good friends with the director. So it was kind of like just a quick fun conversation, and we went out and we did it in one day. But pretty much leading up to those videos, I've had a lot of input. Like Far was my idea. Want is a very old video of me being like some sort of stalker. My idea, and in the beginning, I created my videos at the very, very beginning, like from the first album. So I've been stepping back a little bit more as time goes on. It's just like I can't put too much on my plate these days, But back in the day, I did. But I'm starting to let more people kind of help me, and I think it's going to be it's a way for me to grow. With help from others, can definitely help someone grow.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I think it would be interesting to sort of discuss, again, you talk about that you've been through some challenging times, and now you've gotten to that point where you are making this new record, and you feel a lot more, at least from my perspective, listening to your responses, a lot more confident, a lot more happy to put yourself out there. Am I right in that kind of, you kind of, not fully formed as a person, that's probably a little bit of an oversimplification, but you're much more confident and proud of yourself. Is that right?
100%. Although that's because of the outcome of the record. Going into the record, I was not. I thought I was, actually. I approached Exister with a completely different concept in mind. I wanted to write something really cold and minimal, but I couldn't help myself. I went down deep again, as I usually do. And I came out of it with confidence. Like I said, I definitely have closed the chapter, and the Soft Moon going forward, you're going to see a lot more of confidence in me.
Fantastic. And how does it feel to kind of say that? Because again, you're saying that confidently as well. How does that feel to kind of be like, yeah, I am actually feeling, I'm feeling good. I am more confident as a person.
No, it's incredible. I was living in Berlin, and I was a little bit lost while I was out there when I wrote Criminal. And then I came back stateside, where I'm from originally, and I tried to make amends with my relationship with my mother and my family in general. And I learned a lot. I guess I was a bit disappointed. I was expecting something different after living in Europe for 6-7 years, coming back thinking everything was going to be great, learning a lot. Things are just the way they are, and now I'm able to have some closure and go forward.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
That helped.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for you and this new record. Before, just rounding up, one of the things I do as part of my day job is work with young people who they are creative and they're musicians, and a lot of the time they're dealing with certain mental health issues. They're dealing with sort of depression and anxiety. And I wanted to ask you, because I think it would be an opportune time to do so, given your openness as an artist. What is it on the worst days that you have? Because I'm sure even though you are in a much better place now, you still have difficult days. Maybe sometimes find it difficult to get out of bed like some of these young people do. What are the things that motivate you? What are the things that drive you on those days to get out of bed and to create, even if you are really struggling? If you don't mind sharing that with me. It's okay, and I deal with those days a lot. I'm actually having one of the hardest weeks of my life before heading out on tour on Saturday. I'm so overwhelmed, and what I do enjoy is the reward at the end. I think about when I push through it, how much stronger I will be, and also it's like getting to learn about myself, about how strong I actually am. Yeah.
It's that light at the end of the tunnel, and it's like, holy shit, I just got through that week. That's amazing. I just did that. And that's what I like the best.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And what is it inspiring you? Obviously, because you, again, your videos are like movies, and you're like almost like artscapes a lot of the time. What kind of things are inspiring you outside of music at the moment? I know I'm sure that changes quite a lot, but is there anything that you're drawing from outside of the musical sphere at the moment to inspire you?
Just personal experiences. I kind of tend to. I do this thing that I'm trying to get over, is I tend to try to sabotage my life a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of I put myself in dangerous situations, and I think I learn from that. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. It's something that I'm just now discovering. I tend to take myself to breaking points. And then that's what inspires, that's what inspired Monster. That's also the opening song, Sad Song, and just the emotions that I gained from almost sabotaging myself, destroying everything that I have going for me.
Right.
And then I don't know, and just feeling something profound. And that's really my ultimate inspiration. I mean, aside from things like films and my surroundings, being in Joshua Tree, when I was living in Joshua Tree, that had a huge impact on my record. Now I'm in Los Angeles, but surroundings, but mostly breaking points and
okay,
really, really, really intense emotions.
Yeah. So you said at the start of that, I'm just picking up on something you said. You were like, I'm trying to get over it. Do you think you need those breaking points in order to create, or would you like to be in a position where you can get over it, where you can almost, where you don't need that to create?
Yeah, I definitely don't want to reach those breaking points because they're very scary.
Yeah.
And I've reached one just recently, and I feel like it was almost like some sort of one final lesson before going off on this, tour. Maybe in a way for me to kind of save myself. I need this last lesson. So
okay.
I definitely do not want to reach these breaking points anymore. That's why going forward with the Soft Moon's new chapter will be much different.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm again so excited for you and so enthusiastic for you, man. I think it's going to be an awesome time. Obviously, you were very loved and very supported here in the UK. You do have tours and things like that regularly. What is your message for the fans of yours that have been with you in the UK and I guess around the world, but particularly where we are, who've been with you since the very beginning and will continue to do so as long as you choose and carry on to make music?
So you're asking what would I say to them?
Yeah.
I would actually just say, thanks for sticking with me. And, I know that I do these things where I kind of make everyone look at themselves with my music. And I know it's hard. It's a lot of things that people don't want to face. They'd rather just go out and dance on a Friday night. But, I also want to say I'm happy to have, met people along the way that I relate to and that relate to me. And, I just want to continue that relationship with my fans.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And before we finish off, is there anything you feel like we've missed? Is there anything you'd like to plug? Any other things you're getting on with that you want to promote?
Not at the moment. I got some secret things, but
okay.
It's too early to announce. But I look forward to being in London, though. That's for sure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And quickly before we leave, we're up north in the UK, but obviously we travel down regularly to London for shows as well. Do you have any favourite memories across the UK? And obviously you mentioned your friend in Scotland, the director. Do you have any memories that you would like to share? Things that you will always look back on and be like, "Holy crap! I can't believe I got to do that," or just beautiful places over here.
Yeah, one of the biggest memories. I think it was probably the second time I've ever played in the UK. It was a London show, and I forget the venue. I know there's like Sugar Factory, XOYO. There's all kinds. There's another one. I played so many. Rivington, I believe. Anyways, John Fox from Ultravox came to one of my shows and approached me with a collaboration, and I'll never forget that, meeting him being at my show and then working on a song together. And this was probably back in like 2012 at this point.
Wow, that sounds amazing, man. That's it's beautiful. Those experiences, you can never, you'll never forget those, will you? Just beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
All right, a parting word of wisdom, anything that you would like to share in terms of something you've maybe got from somebody, something that you carry with you that again, you will never forget. Again, similar line to the previous question, but any parting words of wisdom for anybody reading or listening who takes inspiration from what you do and might take inspiration from something that you've been inspired by, like any particular words?
Well, I guess I would say that, I'm realizing that life is hard, but it's worth the fight. And I definitely believe that there's always going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. And that's about all I have. Absolutely,
man. Well, thank you so much for making the time for me today, man. I really appreciate it. I've wanted to do this for a while, so I really appreciate your time. And I'm so excited for the new stuff, man. Good luck with it, and I hope to see you over here soon. Appreciate it, man.
Yes. Great. Okay. Take care.